everybody, my name is Boomy and you're watching my channel Boomy Reactions. Thank you for watching, my lovelies. Now today we have, I don't really know how to describe this video. I think it might just be one of those kind of, let's say it's miscellaneous, a storytelling video. Okay, so this video has been requested through Buy Me a Coffee from Sea of Whiskey. Thank you very much, my lovely. And you say, since you seem to enjoy Mr. Ballin, I do enjoy those ghoulish stories, but any storyteller, I do like to be regaled with stories. May I also suggest Brew? So this is the name of the YouTube channel. I don't think I've seen any videos from this channel, so this is a new channel for me. Thank you. So they cover things in an animated format, and you may enjoy this. Hopefully you don't have, let's write, okay, thalassophobia. Have I said that right? Now, Sea of Whiskey. I did give this a quick Google, just so, you know, to get the idea of what I'm letting myself in for. That's quite the warning there. So this is, thalassophobia is an intense, irrational fear of deep, vast bodies of water, like oceans or lakes, often triggered by the fear of the unknown, vastness, or what lies beneath the surface. Okay, so fear of deep, open spaces, would you say? Oh, what is this video? What are we going to watch? Okay, I don't think I have a phobia. I don't think I have thalassophobia. I'm a little bit suspicious of these dark, unknown, wide open spaces like the depths of the ocean. Would I book a ticket on board one of these deep sea, whatever they're called, things? No. No, I would be absolutely terrified. I wouldn't say it's a phobia, but I'd be a little bit suspicious of it. You never know what's roaming around in that deep ocean. Like, you know, prehistoric fish and dinosaurs and whatnot. But I wouldn't say I have a phobia. Anyway, I've done an awful lot of chatting already. Oh my gosh. Right, so this video is how a man survived at the bottom of the ocean alone for 3 days. Holy moly. So presumably he was on board one of these, I don't, what are they called? Like deep sea exploration things. Okay. That the idea of going that far into the ocean and something happening and you're stuck down there, or anything happening or anything going wrong, is the stuff of nightmares. It absolutely is, isn't it? So no thalassophobia, Sea of Whiskey, but a bit rational, isn't it? It's a rational phobia, I think. Guys, if you're enjoying these reactions, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Thank you so much, my lovelies. If you're interested, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account. That link is over here. And if you would like to help support my channel any further, I have a Patreon account. Yes, I do. And if you want to check that out at all, that link is in the description below. Okay.
A man on board a boat woke up at the crack of dawn to go to the restroom, sleepily walking around in his boxers. Once in the small room, his world literally flipped upside down as extreme turbulence rocked the boat, turning everything pitch black as it capsized. The man could feel water gushing into the ship. Scared for his life, he stumbled to find any escape or safety, but only found locked doors. As the boat sank and settled at the bottom of the ocean, he miraculously managed to find a single tiny pocket of safety in the entire vessel. His life was saved by a couple of mattresses, a bathroom, and a bottle of Coke. But how much longer could he survive down there?
Okay, that was a nice little intro to the video there. That sounds crazy. I wouldn't describe it as a phobia, but oh my gosh, like, he's the only person on this boat. Was he the only person there? Oh, I think my undoing would be the fact that I would panic. I'd just be in the corner, rocking, sobbing hysterically like a mad woman. Yeah, that'd be me. And that's scary thought. Bubble trouble.
One spring day, the Jascon 4, a tugboat, set sail up the coast of Nigeria. The boat's mission was to secure a large Chevron oil tanker full of gasoline, which was in the Atlantic Ocean. The 12 crew members aboard had several years of experience at sea, and this was a routine task. But nothing could prepare the men of the Jascon 4 for what they were going to meet.
So nothing untoward, no silliness, nothing overlooked. These are experienced crew. They've done this before. This is a routine thing. There's nothing that would make you think this is a dangerous mission. Okay.
The crew of 11 Nigerian men and their Ukrainian captain locked their cabin doors and turned in for the night. As they slept, heavy rain, dangerous waves, and turbulent black waters surrounded them. Around 4:30 a.m., Harrison Okene, the cook on board, woke up before everyone else to prepare breakfast. Harrison was an experienced seaman who loved getting a head start on his day. First things first, he made his way to the restroom. At that moment, a huge wave slammed into the ship and turned it over, capsizing it. The force threw Harrison out of the washroom and tumbled him around the ship as water poured into its hulls and cabins. The vessel began sinking faster and faster down into the sea. Terrified and in the pitch dark, Harrison groped around trying to find safety, but all the doors around him were locked from the inside. This was a practice to protect the ship's passengers and content, since pirates were known to raid the boats in the region.
That's not funny, but the fact that they just had an image of Luffy from One Piece when they said that is absolutely amazing. The straw hats are there.
As they sank down, 30 miles away from the Nigerian coast, the cook managed to find his way to the ship officers' cabins, which was unlocked but flooded with water, forcing him into a small attached room inside the cabin that must have been the officers' attached washroom. There, a miracle happened. As the boat settled at the bottom of the sea, 30 meters below the surface, an air bubble formed in that tiny washroom with Harrison in it. The pocket of precious air was only about 1 meter wide, but it was enough to keep someone alive. For now.
How did that happen? Okay, so it's rested at the bottom of the sea there, but that's only 30 meters down. That could have been a lot worse. That could have been really, really bad. So it's still, at this point, it's not hopeless. It's not entirely hopeless. You know, if you can survive it, you could be rescued. You know, it's survivable, isn't it?
As he sat stuck in the dark, Harrison had nothing to do but think about this dire situation. The fate of his crewmates was unknown, but Harrison assumed they had managed to evacuate to safety, and perhaps thought that he had perished in the disaster. He was alone and not sure if anyone was coming, or if they would come too late. The water level was also slowly rising, but he was determined to survive as long as he could. He left his air pocket to search for supplies, wandering and feeling around the ship, and managed to find some tools and 2 mattresses. He stacked them on top of each other, rigging a simple platform that kept his body partially out of the water and to delay the possibility of hypothermia.
Oh, I was just about to say, what's the temperature of that water likely to be? Are we off the coast of Africa, did they say? Still the Atlantic, isn't it? I'm sure, did they mention, was it the Atlantic? Okay.
Still, it was almost unbearably cold, and Harrison was wearing nothing but underwear.
Oh my God!
It was pure black and noisy all around him. He was hungry and thirsty, with only a bottle of Coke he had found to survive on. He knew he had to get out as soon as possible. The longer he waited, the more his air pocket was becoming concentrated with carbon dioxide from his breathing, and eventually he would not be able to survive. He tried to find a way out of the chamber, using a rope he found to find his way back to the air pocket during his attempts, but was unsuccessful. With no other options, he stayed there, shivering, and prayed and prayed. He was only days away from his 5-year wedding anniversary. Oh, no! He reflected on his life and thought about his wife, his family, his friends, and what would happen to them. 2 days passed without any progress, and Harrison wasn't sure that help was even coming. At one point, he heard what he believed were the sounds of biting, a creature eating something in the boat. He was running out of time. Every breath he breathed out was filling his space with more and more CO2, which would eventually take his life. Was anyone going to look for him?
Oh my gosh, his family and his wife be so worried.
Meanwhile, above the surface, a team of South African divers from a nearby oil rig were sent to inspect the scene of the shipwreck. But this operation was not a rescue mission. They were from DCN, a global diving company, and had been sent to recover the bodies from the wreck. Since all the doors to the rooms were locked as a safety precaution against pirates, they had been told that all the boat crew members had lost their lives as they were locked in their rooms. 4 bodies had already been retrieved from the water, and Harrison's family were notified of his passing. Nobody had any idea that someone was praying for them to hurry and find him before it was too late. If Harrison was still alive, he would have heard the sounds of the crew reaching the shipwreck 60 hours after the sinking. The humming of a boat's engine, an anchor dropping, and the paddling of divers would have alerted him that divers were on the way. But the Jascon 4 was a large ship, and since the divers weren't looking for someone trapped on board, it could take them a long time to reach the small chamber. Harrison was still alive. He had heard the sounds of potential rescue and was trying to get their attention. He used a hammer to hit the steel of the boat, trying to make enough noise to alert someone to the fact that he was alive in there.
I suppose even if he manages to make enough noise to alert them that someone's making the noise, even though it's a big a big boat, it would, they'd have a lot more urgency to go and explore around.
The divers were far from him, though, and he heard their sounds fade away. As the divers explored the vessel, hoping to find the remaining bodies, one man, Nico van Heerden, made his way into the officer's cabin. He moved around the space and found the washroom, his light piercing through the black water to where, little did he know, Harrison was waiting. His time had been running out for over the last 2 days, so Harrison took no chances and jumped into the water towards his potential rescuer. He reached out to touch the diver's head, careful to withdraw quickly and not scare him too much. Nico was shocked. He stretched out towards the hand he had felt and Harrison grabbed it. Nico cried out to his team that a person was alive.
Can you imagine, like, that, is it the captain, the diver? If something grabbed you while you were exploring that, thinking that there's no chance that anyone is alive in this vessel, that I think your soul would leave your body. You'd be so scared. Oh gosh.
And he held on to Harrison's hand to let him know help was here. When he rose up to see his savior face to face, Harrison started crying with joy, disbelief, and gratitude, overwhelmed that someone had finally come. Rescue had arrived at a critical moment because Harrison's air pocket was becoming concentrated with carbon dioxide from his breathing, and he would not have been able to survive much longer, and was in the first stages of hypercapnia, a buildup of carbon dioxide in the bloodstream. The air bubble had kept Harrison alive, but being trapped in there for so long also put his life at risk. He had breathed in a dangerous amount of nitrogen, and the effects on his body from being underwater for so long were severe. When we breathe air, the body takes in oxygen, replaces some of it with carbon dioxide, and does nothing with the nitrogen. At regular surface pressure, some nitrogen and oxygen is dissolved in the fluid in our blood and tissues. But when a scuba diver goes deep underwater, the pressure on the body increases, so more nitrogen and oxygen dissolve in the bloodstream.
I've heard of this. Is it called nitrogen poisoning? Doesn't it like the symptoms of it are bumps on the skin, like little teeny weeny lumpy bumps, is that right?
The oxygen is used by our tissues, but the nitrogen forms nitrogen bubbles in their bloodstream. If a diver were to go straight up to the surface, that gas would be released, just like when you open a bottle of soda. This can be extremely painful and fatal. To prevent this, divers have to rise from the water slowly and make any decompression stops along the way, which allows the gas to come out bit by bit. If the diver goes up too fast, the only cure is to go into a pressurized chamber where the air pressure matches the pressure underwater, then is released slowly while the diver adapts. Though Harrison had been found, the danger was far from over for him.
is disturbing. I don't know where I heard that about the lumps. Is that a thing? Does that actually happen? No. Okay. Don't know what I thought that was. Oh gosh, it's so many of these like things that you just wouldn't think about. I wouldn't. I'm not a diver, saying that. But that's quite frightening.
As he had to be returned to the surface very carefully.
Yeah.
Simply bringing him straight to land would have killed him, as Harrison would experience this severe decompression sickness known as the bends.
The bends.
How did Harrison stay alive for so long within such a limited space? People are still not sure how the pocket of air had formed or how it sustained him for so long. It's believed that the trapped air pocket had miraculously worked as a sort of diving bell, which is a chamber with an open bottom used to transport divers to and from the surface. The pressure of the water around keeps the air trapped inside the bell. If you've ever placed a cup or something similar upside down in a pool or bath, you've seen this phenomenon at work. Still, wouldn't Harrison have run out of air quicker? One theory as to how he survived concerns Fick's law of diffusion. This is a scientific rule that says that the movement of a substance from one area to another is affected by the difference in concentration of that substance and the space through which it's moving.
Right.
It's a complex scientific concept, but in simple terms, it's a rule that explains how things move from one place to another based on the concentration and space available.
Like similar to kind of osmosis or diffusion and etc.
In this case, the air pocket Harrison found in the submerged boat may have been created by the air diffusing from the upper parts of the boat to the lower parts where he was trapped.
Oh!
The high concentration of air in the upper parts of the boat created a flow that allowed the air to reach the washroom. It's possible that this flow of air helped him survive while trapped underwater. It's a theory, but the law of diffusion can explain how the oxygen reached Harrison. Alex Gibbs, a life support technician on duty at the surface, was alerted to the fact that someone was miraculously alive. He and his team put down an air hose into the room and gave Harrison fresh air, but there was another problem. Harrison had been so saturated by carbon dioxide air that the divers had to switch to a mix of oxygen and helium, which is not standard practice. Harrison was fitted into a special diving suit and helmet, which would maintain his internal pressure to prevent the bends. But he had spent so long underwater that he still had to make several long decompression stops. Nico was amazed at how calm the survivor was the entire time. As they brought him up little by little, Harrison passed out, but survived.
Maybe he was calm because maybe that was one of the effects of slowly being more deprived of oxygen, maybe. Maybe it has a bit of a sedatory kind of effect.
At the surface, he was transferred to a diving bell under pressure, then a decompression chamber. He spent the next 2 days there, which was also an ordeal to live through. Harrison had recurring nightmares of his experience, suffered from his skin peeling, and a hunger that wouldn't go away even after being fed. He also learned that none of his crew members had survived. 10 bodies had been recovered, but one was never found. Alex cared for Harrison throughout his recovery, delivering food, changing his sheets, administering medicine, and communicating between Harrison and the doctors, officers, and managers outside. It took 3 days before he was decompressed and well enough to leave the chamber. Harrison was very grateful to be alive, but was prone to nightmares and would wake up in the night feeling his bed sinking. He swore to never go near the ocean again. 9 years after this incredible event, Alex was on a diving job when he met one of the divers and got an unexpected surprise. It was Harrison, who was now working as a commercial diver. Though he had initially been terrified of going into the water, traumatized by his near-death experience in the ocean, Harrison had bravely conquered his fear and decided to become a certified commercial diver. When Harrison completed his training, it was Nico who had presented him with his diploma. Harrison said that he is happy as a clam while diving and enjoys the environment. It's now fun for him. He feels like the ocean is his world, and he is comfortable and relaxed while in the sea. He can dive up to 50 meters underwater. He is forever grateful to the team that saved him and will never forget the 2 days he spent trapped in the dark, cold depths of the ocean. Harrison has some advice for people who find themselves in a terrifying situation like he did. The fear alone can kill you, but he believed in himself and kept his faith and his mind strong. This unbelievable accident-turned-miracle serves as a reminder of the dangers of working at sea and the importance of safety measures to address a variety of situations. Harrison's story of survival is a testament to his will to live and the power of hope to face seemingly impossible odds. It's also amazing that he managed to overcome his fear and pass all of his diving courses, considering that his grades were probably below sea level. Based on our recent video about scientists bringing potential...
That was such a dad joke. Below sea level. Bit too soon for that one.
Potentially pandemic-causing zombie viruses back to life, we put a poll on Twitter asking, is the research done in pathogen labs worth the risk of lab leaks? Most of you said yes. And for all of our sake, I hope you're right.
What an amazing man. Oh my gosh. Harrison did it. He conquered his fear. A very rational fear. He's actually lived out the horrors of a worst case scenario and still has managed to overcome this fear, which is, I know, I have an irrational phobia of frogs. I know it's irrational. I could work on overcoming that quite easily. But that phobia that Harrison developed was he developed it through experience, and it's a very, very rational phobia. It's not even the worry of what if. He experienced the worst case scenario and he managed to conquer it. Oh my gosh, that makes me feel a little bit bad about my silly phobia of frogs, actually. If Harrison can overcome that, that's nothing, isn't it? That's absolutely amazing. So I know they said at the end that, that they've come up with policies and procedures and things like that, and Harrison, teaches them, I think, as an instructor. But I think given the circumstances, everything happened so quick on the tugboat. I don't really think he had an awful lot of time to react, or even looking back, if there were policies and procedures in place, you have very little time even to descramble your mind and think, okay, what should I be doing right now? That's the hardest part, I would have assumed, is staying calm and trying to organize your thoughts and think, right, I've been taught in this scenario, if this happens, I need to do this, this, and this. I would just be hysterical. Yeah, like I say, crying in the corner. I think overcoming that is probably the hardest part. This is the biggest challenge. That's absolutely amazing, though. Can you imagine his family hearing the news that actually they already informed them that it's highly likely he's passed away and they're searching for bodies, and then they found him. It's like an emotional roller coaster. Oh, that's lovely, though. I'm massively impressed that he's managed to overcome this very, very rational phobia. It's amazing. So thank you, Sea of Whiskey, for requesting this. Like I say, I don't think I have thalassophobia? But if it did, I think it'd be quite justified. It's a very reasonable phobia to have. Not so much frogs. But thank you for watching along with me, my lovelies. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.